Welcome to the Chicago Pen Show. We're playing 20 questions with
Mark Dwight, the owner of Rickshaw Bagworks in San Francisco.
All right, let's get into the questions. When I say fountain pen, what pen do you think of?
Twisby.
How did you get into pens?
I went to my first pen show in 2017 to meet a pen maker that I had been backing on Kickstarter, Bill Karras.
All right.
And I thought, and they said, oh, Bill Karras is going to be at the San Francisco Pen Show. And I said, what's that?
That's a big place to start.
That's right.
What was your first pen?
My first pen is a Mont Blanc Meister Stuck 144,
Okay.
given to me at a graduation, which I don't remember which it was, either undergraduate or grad school. I used it once, got ink all over the place, and wondered why anyone would ever want to use a fountain pen.
What's your current daily driver?
My current daily driver, fountain pen or
Yep.
any pen?
It can be any pen. If you don't daily drive a fountain pen, it can be any pen.
Well, my regular fountain pen is a Twisby.
Okay.
So there's my Chicago edition right there.
Okay.
But my true daily driver, cringe, is a Pentel gel pen.
Oh, I think that made my list of the best black pens, the black version of that.
Come on, I'm an engineer.
Yeah. What's your favorite ink?
My favorite ink is what I like to call the Tony's restaurant in New York of inks, because everyone in New York will tell you they don't like Tony's because all the tourists go there, but they all secretly love it. Shizuku.
Yeah.
Konpeki.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I don't like that one, but I love it. I have blue eyes, so I have a tendency to like blue things.
Favorite brand of either pens or ink?
Favorite brand of pens or ink? I'd have to say Twisby, probably.
All right. Vintage or modern?
Modern,
Do you swatch all your inks?
no. But I have participated in 30 inks in 30 days, so I've done some swatching, but I don't do it routinely.
Do you daily drive the same pen and ink combination, or do you always switch it up?
I switch it.
Do you keep your nib writing samples in a way you can look through them, or do you just know the nib in every pen?
I typically buy, I have all stock nibs, and they're either medium or fine.
What's the pen you wish you could see in person?
That question I could have answered about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and it is the, is it Visconti Casa Batil, the Gaudi Visconti. I was like absolutely infatuated with that pen, and I did get to see it. I don't have one today, but when I saw that pen, and then when I picked it up, it weighs about 5 pounds. And I thought, oh yeah, this is just a piece of sculpture that you would put on your on your mantle. And so I kind of, it was a weird experience. It was my Grail pen, but then once I saw it and felt it, I was like, this really isn't a pen. I mean, it's a pen, but in name only. It's really a piece of sculpture. So I kind of got over the whole Grail pen thing, frankly. But I still love it. But I don't feel the need to own it.
So the next question is, what's your Grail pen? But instead, I think a better way to ask it is, what is the next pen you really want?
The next pen I really want? That's a tough question for people, I think, who go to pen shows all the time, because you have access to any pen that you want. You know, I don't have... I'm kind of like, what's the next Twisby color going to be? That kind of is more interesting to me necessarily than... I mean, as much as I love like really beautiful Mach-E pens and things like that, I don't feel the need to own one, because I know that I don't use fountain pens that much, and I'm not going to really get the kind of use out of it that would make it worth the purchase, you know, or I should say, not worth the purchase, do justice to me owning that pen. And so it's like, well, someone else who will appreciate it more can own it.
Fair enough. What pen would you recommend to a beginner?
Twisby, definitely. The reason I like Twisby is because they're, you know, it's an economical pen. It's less than $50 typically. I've had one that I didn't use for a year, took the cap off, wrote right away, and I always hear about people saying, oh, their pen dried out. And so I just feel like the only drawback for a beginner is that it's a piston filler. And so that might be like, ooh, a little too sophisticated, if you will, for the true beginner. But I do think it's a great introduction to pens, and frankly to figuring out how to use a piston. It's an inexpensive way to get into a something other than a converter.
Yeah. What ink would you recommend to a beginner?
Well, I like J.R. Bond inks. I happen to like shimmer inks, and I think they make some really great ones. Diamine's great ink. And then I would say Birmingham inks. I love Birmingham inks, made in Pennsylvania. And is it Pittsburgh? Yeah, Pittsburgh, I think. And I just think they have great colors, and I love the labels on their bottles. And they come in bottles that are a manageable size.
They're so hard to get in Canada.
And you gotta support fellow makers.
There's only one store that stocks them in Canada.
Is that right?
And I am lucky enough that there are so many people at this pen show that know that, and so people have just been delivering sample bottles of Birmingham Pen Company inks to the Atlas table for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have so many bags of Birmingham Pen Company inks.
Yeah, I buy them all directly from them, so.
What advice do you have for somebody wanting to try out fountain pens who might be a bit intimidated by them?
Either go to a show, as intimidating as that is, or seek out your local pen club, because it's a great way to kind of meet and greet people. And what I tell anybody who's just getting into it, if they're at a first-time show, I remember my first show, I was totally intimidated. I had no idea that this world of pen nerds even existed. And I literally had to walk out like after a couple hours and kind of get reoriented, like, whoa, what is going on? Because it's just overwhelming. But then someone told me, hey, don't worry about it. Everybody's friendly here. Just ask questions. And so I did. I try to encourage people that way when I meet them.
What nib size do you prefer to write with?
Medium or fine.
Is there a style of nib you love or find interesting but would never actually use?
No, I only use stock nib.
Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper? If not, what paper's your favorite?
Well, yes, because I usually just grab a piece of copy paper.
Love that.
You know.
I know you.
And actually, copy paper is pretty good paper.
Copy paper's such good paper.
Yeah.
Copy paper and Post-it brand Post-it notes.
Yep, that works.
You cannot use cheap Post-it notes. You have to use Post-it brand Post-it notes.
That's right. Many a notebook I've opened up and written in it and gone, oh, that doesn't work very well. So, Lake Term's good though.
Yeah. What is your least favorite ink or ink color family?
I'd have to say, like a few other people that have been on this tour here, yellows.
Yeah, those are hard.
It's just hard to see them and write with them.
It has to be a really good yellow.
I like rich jewel tones.
Yes.
Yeah. So they can be green, they can be purple, they can be blue, but a nice jewel tone ink is, you know, nice and dark and rich. So.
Well, thanks for playing 20 questions.
Oh, great. That was easy.
It was.